Hey YouTube, how's it going? I'm back. This is the follow-up episode to repacking the wheel bearings, and today we'll be installing the grease seals. So, to do this, what I use is a fairly large ball peen hammer, and I prefer a larger one to a small one because it's easier to swing a large one easy than it is to swing a small one hard and still be accurate. I also have a large socket. I have a special punch that I made years ago. I have a little bit of silicone, and of course I have the seals. This is the axle seal. This is the bearing hub seal. This socket, as you see, is about the size of the axle seal. That's to allow me to drive it in straight. First one I'm going to put in the hub, which is the larger of the two.
Do you see where Grampa is? Do you see Grampa, Tamara? Tamara. Grampa's right there.
Hi, sweetie. You got your hat. That's a nice hat.
On the good side? Grampa's working.
Back from daycare. So as you see on the seal here, there's this open area and the flat area. The flat area goes to the outside. If you look carefully, this edge here is kind of like a lip pointing outward, and that's to stop stuff from entering, but it will allow something to exit if it has to. Then you also have an inner wipe area here. So this actually has like a double sealing action, so if anything does get past the first one, the second one will stop some of the stuff. But to help maintain this shape and to maintain contact with the bearing seal surface, if you look very closely, there's a little spring in there. You have to make sure that spring stays in place. If you're not careful, it will pop out. And if it does pop out, you have to put it back. But you have to also, if it does pop out, you have to make absolute sure that it doesn't get damaged. This is what that spring looks like. This is from the old seal. And it's just a small spring. Now to put this one in, if you look, my hammer will actually hit the edge before I get to where I'm going to be tapping. So that's why I have that flat punch. Now you have to be very careful when you're installing these. So what I do is I'll take the punch, or the seal, and actually before I even try it, where the seal goes is on here and up on this flat on the axle. So it will actually slip over that and it will spin on there with the wheel. That's why it's important to clean that surface. Okay, now to put the seal in, I basically drop it in as flat as I can. I'll start off just trying to get it started. Very careful. Walking around. And you notice I'm keeping one finger on there. I'm actually feeling the vibration to determine if it's still vibrating or starting to seat. And I can feel it starting to seat. Now that's where my punch comes in handy. This was just a piece of bar stock of really hard metal, hard steel, that took me a long time to get it marked up and cut like that. But this gives me a nice flat surface with which I can work around the seal with. You always want to work on the highest part, and you don't want to get it crooked or popped in the hole. So, I don't know how I can do this and still show you guys how to do it. So I'll do my best. Opposite me, or you can watch. Okay, how's that for a view? Now you can watch carefully as I take the punch, and I just carefully, and I'm watching where the high spots are. Now on some vehicles, you can actually put a flat bar across, or a piece of wood, and tap it in flat. Well, this one with that dust shield, you can't do that. So, just carefully keep working it around, looking at the high spots. And once again, this is an experience thing. You're trying to get into a rhythm of doing it. And coming up, you'll see the added benefit of using a punch like mine. Where the punch is riding is on the seal, but it's also these corners of it. These corners right here are actually going to contact the hub surface. The bearing is, or the seal is all the way in. You'll hear it. You hear that? I'm hitting the hub. Now I'm hitting the hub, hitting the seal. You can hear the difference. I'm hitting the seal, the hub. And then I just double check by going once around. So, now that tells me that seal is in straight, and it's not in too far. Now, because I'm not going to be installing this right away, because I'm still waiting for a wheel seal, or wheel cylinder, I don't want anything to get in there. So what I'm going to do is put a rag in there. And I'm just trying to keep as much dirt out of there as I can. So that's installing the grease seal, the bearings. Next, we're going to do the axle. Now, in a case like this, this seal goes in, and it's going to butt up against that surface there. Because of this notch, you don't want it on the very outer edge, because the seal will just barely cover it. So you actually want it recessed in. Now, to provide added sealing, what I prefer to do, okay, so I will take just a small dab of silicone, put it on my finger, and it doesn't take a lot, and it will take the seal put a small wipe of silicone all the way around the seal. And I mean very small. And all this is going to do is fill any minute imperfections in there. I don't need it dripping off. Just a thin, thin wipe. Like that. Then I'll put that in place and hold it. And just from habit and experience, I'll try to get it started like that. So it's started, but it's not in there. And that's where the socket comes into play. I use the socket as a tool to drive this seal in. It'll help drive it in straight. And in this case, I'll wait to hear it bottom out. You see it going in. So you can hear the difference. It's bottomed out in there. Then I'll just take a rag and take a quick wipe. Now again, because I'm not going to be putting this drum on right away, I want to maintain the cleanliness here. So what I'll do is I'll just stuff a rag in the axle hole, and that'll help keep the dust out. Where that seal rides is on the axle here, which I will clean just before I put it in. And it rides on this surface here. And when I check that surface, I'm feeling for any small grooves that I can catch with my fingernail. Those grooves could be a possible way to cause the seal to fail. So there you have it, folks. Installing the seals, and one of the next things we'll be teaching you is when the wheel cylinders are here, I'll show you how to change a wheel cylinder, and I'll follow that up with the reassembly and how I install the hub and adjust the wheel bearings. So feel free to leave a comment. I'd appreciate it. Take care. Have a good one.